Hello, JJS players. I will be teaching you how to actually make realistic working fire with the new particle node. So here's how it will look. This is including lighting, so you'll actually be able to walk through it and take damage, burn somewhat. It will also cancel all your attacks as well. You can use this to make a fire moveset or really whatever the hell you want. So what you should do is set down a character block, put the name of it as fire, kind of messed up there, then name your ability fire if you want. I'm not forcing you to. Put the cooldown as whatever, tooltip as whatever as well. So what you'll do is set up a projectile. For this, we're going to use Projectile A. It's a really easy thing to remember. And then what we will do is have the time, let's do 5 seconds. Stun will be 0 seconds. There will be no stun animation. Damage will be 1.5. So after I show y'all how to use the projectile tag and what you should do with it, I'll actually explain what everything does. Blockable, turn that off if you want though. Have cancel enemy on or off, it does not matter. Hit ragdoll, you can have that on. Personally, I will be turning that on. Make sure you have hit user on. This basically means whenever the user walks through the fire, they will also take damage. Have continue on. And then what you should do is branch target, just set that to hit. Filter invertal, set this to whatever you want really. I'm personally doing 0.1, so it'll damage as a tick damage. Then you want to make a branch named hit. And in this branch, well, do whatever. I recommend you put on some visuals. For visuals, what I do is use flames, put it to 0.5, or maybe even 0.1, that might even work better. And then what you have to do is have your first color set to yellow, and then have your second color set to fully red. This will make it to where it looks way better, as you can see here. What you can also do is put on glow, set the amount to whatever. As you can see, it's gonna fade. So what you should do is put it to 255, 100 for both colors, and it'll look more like that. And then what you need to do is set it to 0.9, or even 0.99 could be better for this. Then specifically 0.87 for the size. Something else that you can do is, to make it even better, is set one to 0.88, while you still have your first one on 0.87, and set your 0.88 one to have an extra 100 on it. So it'll look a bit more better. But this is really just for how it'll look, so you don't have to worry about adding hit if you don't want to. But you can also use hit for sound effects. So, in Projectile, I'll explain what everything does, since I know some of y'all don't know how to use the Projectile tag. So, Projectile tag, this part actually means that whenever you have something set up to it, it'll do that certain thing. And, time should be obvious. Damage should be obvious as well. So, blockable basically means that your opponent will not be able to block it. Enable blockable if you want your opponent to be able to walk through the thing with it being able to be blocked, or disable it so it'll be unblockable no matter what. 360 block works the same way, except it'll block from any direction instead of only blocking from the front. Hit ragdoll means whenever someone's ragdolled, it'll still hit them. I've already explained what hit user does. Continue should be obvious as well. Filter invertal, I don't remember if I explained it. I think I did, though. Anyways, now what you want to do is get this particle emitter. Wow, that sounds so stupid. Anyways, projectile tag, put it to whatever your original tag is. And then what you want to do is find a texture. Personally, I will still be using the Minecraft texture, which I will get from right here, since I already have it. And then you want to paste your texture into this. Now, as you'll see, sometimes it won't work. Oh, wait, I got the wrong texture, sorry guys. I meant to get this texture. this will be my actual fire texture. But as you'll see, it looks a little bit weird. It's coming from my head, even though the actual attack is meant to be the back. Why is that? Well, this is because with your projectile path, yes, we're going back to this, you want to set your position to be -1 for the middle one, and I recommend you put it to 10 for your third one. And this is how it'll look now. As you can see, it'll actually spawn from there, instead of spawning just on my head. Now, let's go back to this. Let's put our rate as 100, and our duration will be as 5. So as you can see, it's more of a burning fire now. Well, it looks like more just a straight line of fire, so... Oh yes, by the way, put your speed to 0, so it'll actually stick in place if you want it to. There's no one forcing you to do that, so what you can also do is turn it into a projectile. I recommend 80 if you want it to be a fire projectile. I just taught y'all how to make a fireball, and I'm trying to make y'all I'm trying to teach y'all how to make ground fire. Anyways, what I recommend you do is configure with the brightness however you want. It doesn't really matter what you configure it as, though it will pretty obviously change how bright it is sometimes. I recommend you put your squash second value to 1. This basically means that it'll be more raised. Your lifetime for this doesn't matter. Drag, I recommend you put to -10. Oh, wait, no, wrong one. I recommend you put it to 10, so it'll be more in place, as you can see. It's more straight. Here's how 100 looks. It's just nearly absolutely straight. I recommend you put your light emission to, not one. Just configure with it until you find what you want to find. I recommend 0.5. Also, light influence, I recommend you put it to 10 so it'll actually glow. As you can see, we're already getting somewhere pretty damn good. So then what you want to do is orientation type. This does not matter that much. I recommend you either have front-facing camera world up, so it looks like this whenever you look from above it, or facing camera, so no matter where you move your camera, it'll still face camera. Do not use velocity parallel, though, since this will look very weird, nor velocity perpendicular, since this will also look very weird. Emission direction does not really matter at this point. I recommend you keep it on one shot. Now, cylinder. You don't need this. You don't need disc, pretty obviously. You don't need sphere, nothing of that. You just need box. It does not really matter what you put it on, but sometimes it can mess it up if you set it to certain things. You can mess with the emitter's shape in and out. That does not really matter that much. But the main thing that we will be doing is making it to where this is bigger, so it'll more of look like this. You can also mess with the acceleration however you want. As you can see, it does a little trippy effect whenever you put it to 10. Isn't that kind of cool? So, size. This is something that you might want to work with a little bit. So, I don't recommend you just go into 10. I know that sounds like it'd be good, but no, we don't want to do that. Well, unless you really do. I don't control how big you want your fire to be. So here's just a straight fire. As you can see, I'm not really taking damage. This is because I have Skill Builder active. Part size, this somewhat matters, actually. As you can see, if I set that to 10, it'll make it to where it's more of a straight line. Something that I'm pretty sure you can do if I get the values right is 1010. There we go. So you want to set it to 1010. It doesn't really matter what you set the middle value to, but if you do set it to 101010, it'll look more like that, which is a bit more accurate than how I have it. So what I would recommend you do is 10.5. This is because it'll look more like mine, as you can see. So far, we're actually doing pretty good. So now what I'll have you do is get a hitbox. If you're wondering, why are we getting a hitbox? Well, this is because, for the next part of this, you will be seeing how big the hitbox is, comparing it to the actual fire itself. And whenever you figured out what you want your hitbox to be, you want to go back to your projectile tag and change the size of it to be what you have your hitbox set to. This will basically mean that that's like how big the fire's hitbox is. So here, we'll test it out real quick. As you can see, I actually have the ability now. The cooldowns are working, but I'll turn them off real quick. So let's get a dummy. Whenever I get a dummy and use it on them, as you can see, it'll start to burn them. Whenever I go through it myself, it'll start to burn me as well. So far, if you want to quit from here, that's fine. You can go get your own sound effects and things like that. But if you continue on with the video, I'll show you how to make smoke effects and stuff like that, like how I have with my fire stuff. Anyways, let's get on with the video. So, I don't know if y'all noticed, I don't really remember if I've shown it, but something that you can do is cursed energy. So, how cursed energy will work, as you can see, there's no light from this. If I enable OLED mode, there will be absolutely no light from that. So, what you can do is get a cursed energy visual. Let me just find it. Here we go. So what I recommend you do is size 3, and then you will want to put it as 255 100, 255 100. As you can see, it's already making some light. So what you'll do is alt opacity 1 and opacity 1. And then you'll put it on your projectile tag. Sorry about the mobile bug that's going on right now. That's just an issue since I'm on mobile. And as you can see now, it'll actually have lighting with it. But it did not last that long. So what you must do is go back to cursed energy, set your time to whatever your fire time is. Personally, mine is 5, so I'll have mine set to 5. And also, it's not going to instantly work as soon as you change it, so you're going to have to respawn. But, now let's check it out. So, whenever I turn back on OLED, you can see that it's near pitch black, and then we use this. Now, it is looking a little bit red, but that should be fine. It doesn't really matter that much, because whenever you have OLED off, it looks perfectly normal and perfectly fine. The good thing about this fire tutorial is it'll actually stick wherever it is. Personally, I do not know how to make it to where it won't stick in the air yet, but if I do figure out how to do that, I will be making a separate video on that. And I will also probably be making a video on how to use the actual nodes, if y'all want me to. Anyway, let's get back to this. So far we actually do already have it done, as you can see, but I did promise y'all I would give y'all smoke effects. So what I'll be doing is going back to this particle one. I said that wrong. And then I will be... I copied the wrong thing. Sorry. Oh, wait. Right. I copied the ID, not the thing. But anyways, you want to copy over this. And then you want to set your projectile tag as B. You want to entirely remove the the texture. And then you want to get another projectile node and set this one to B. Now what you'll do is remove the position on it, change the third position to be 10. Now whenever you use it, it'll look more like this. If you want to have it like this, that's fine. No one's forcing you to have it any other way. But here's how you'll make it to where it's not like that and looks a bit better. First of all, remove the squash. Maybe even shorten the squash. And then you want to put your rate as 10. So already, it looks a little bit better. And if you want to, you can go back to your projectile tag and position and raise this by 1. I actually recommend it. It would honestly look better, as you can see. And then what you can do is go back to your particle emitter, and the color does not matter, by the way. Just so y'all know, color does not matter for this. What you could do for this now is add drag if you want. It doesn't really matter that much. But basically, I'll tell y'all about drag real quick. If you do -1, it'll look like this. I actually recommend y'all put on -1, because it'll actually look more realistic. Drag basically means how far the actual, like, texture will drag. This does not change the hitbox or anything, though. If it's in a negative number, that means it'll drag up. If it's in a positive number, that means it'll either drag down or stay completely still. But for this example, we'll be using -1. But anyways, from here, it's honestly done. There's nothing more you really need to it. Now, if you're wanting to do something like how I did, for example, the animation that I used was... let me find it. It was gavel throw. So what you can do is use gavel throw, and then find your moment that you want. For example, 0.33 is what I used. So you'll get a weight trigger, put it to 0.33, and set it right above your projectile tag. This will basically mean it'll take a little bit longer to come out, but you'll actually have an animation. And it'll look mostly clean. Well, sometimes. Sometimes it does not look the absolute best, but that's fine. I recommend you try to find your own animation if you want, just because it could even look better than mine. Personally, mine just looks like this because I thought it would personally be the best. But yeah, that's basically it. And, oh yeah, right, sound. So what you have to do is get whatever sound effect you want. I recommend volume 3, and say, like, okay, imagine if this was my fire sound. I would scroll down, projectile tag, set that to A, since that's currently my fire sound, like my fire effects. And as you can tell, whenever I use the ability, it'll actually have that. Anyways, if you're wanting a showcase just to prove that it'll actually work, here's how it looks whenever you use it in-game. And here's how it'll look whenever you're using it against a enemy. Sometimes the hitbox can be a little bit buggy if you don't set it correctly, but in most other times, it'll actually work perfectly. Anyways, you're welcome for the tutorial. I hope this tutorial helped you out. If you'd like another tutorial on anything else, I would be open to helping y'all anytime. Anyways...